And we're back for our final segment. And this is Tom Gibson. To my left, Chuck Augustin. And you're still in Nye County. Okay, Chuck, we were finishing up the last segment with what? I forget.
Yeah, basically the incredible money that
yes,
cancer produces for the industry. And like we pointed out, the doctors, we all know doctors don't have time to do anything during the day. And often they're there till 6, 8 o'clock at night. So when do they have time to really follow up and research? One of the things I've always said is my life changed when I retired and was able to actually sit there and read, to watch DVDs, to look things up on the internet, to do analysis, to do research. There's very few people while they're working have any time to do anything. They're a slave to survival. And that's what these monsters have us in, a survival mode.
Well, we're slaves, period. If you don't believe it, I mean, and I'm not inventing that. There's people that believe that we are being controlled in everything we do. Just go on the internet, and there's plenty of evidence to show that we are what would replace chains and shackles and whips is called debt and money. And that is where our cells are wide open, but we're still not able to live the, it's the pursuit of happiness. It's just that it's kind of like the rabbit running after the carrot.
Absolutely.
He just pursues and pursues and pursues. He'll never get that carrot. And that's how it is with life. And we're all that way, unless we're in the upper 1%. And those people are, they're the blessed ones, and they're the ones that have the wonderful lives. And go ahead and research who the 1% are, what they do for a living or livings, how hard they really work, what they think, and how they operate. And you will be calling for the guillotines. You will be saying that Robespierre was a saint, and that the only thing we should do as a society is to go round these bastards up and take their heads off one at a time. And I understand why the people in the French Revolution were so motivated for doing what they did, because they were just down under the thumb of royalty, and then they saw and heard of this story of America rising up and fighting off the aristocracy in England. Although there is a story behind the story, but with that in mind, that's what helped get their cause across. And they went out and they rounded up every royalist that they could get their hands on, or the other ones that they didn't round up escaped, but they chopped their heads off. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I mean, what?
It's quick and painless.
Yeah.
It's better than giving a drug and watching the guy have heart attacks for the next 4 years.
Absolutely.
Ray, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, Ray the Flagman on your last segment. Let there be cake. That was a famous quote, or supposedly a quote, by Marie Antoinette, when told that the people have no bread, and so she made light of it, let them eat cake. And
well, actually, Ray, she wasn't making light of it, though. If you look historically, because I've studied this myself, she was so naive that they said, well, they have no bread. We have no bread. She the peasants have no bread. Well, let them eat cake, because she figured that would be the next thing you would go to if your bread was gone. Because cake in those days wasn't the same thing as a cake is now.
Yeah. Well, Paul Miller had something years ago, he told me, and it really fits right now. It fit right along, but I never really understood it. He said, we're all monkeys in a cage, and the cage door is locked, and the government, with all the restrictions and the different laws they're passing, and they keep poking us with sticks. Every day they're poking, and there's nothing we can do. We're in the cage. We're locked in. They keep doing this day after day, month after month, and there's no retaliation because the cage door is locked. But one day, the door becomes unlocked, and that's when hell breaks loose. And I think that's happening right now. I mean, the badges are completely out of control. I mean, let's face it, back in the 50s and 60s when I was growing up, it was nothing like this. Now it's a military organization, and they're coming after the people for the smallest abuse of what they consider breaking a law or whatever, and it's just way out of control. So the cage door is left open right now, and the monkeys, being all the people that have been terrorized by the government all this time, are now starting to realize that door is open. And some of them may not want to come out and do anything about it, but it's going to really be hell to pay for all the abuse they've been doing. Miller's been at the DMV every weekday for the last 3 or 4 weeks. He said the people are standing in line 15 deep out the door. They can't even get in because all these regulations and restrictions, and they make you jump through all these hoops. And it's ridiculous because if you don't do it, the cop is going to grab you on the street. You don't have your license, or it expires, or your plates, or whatever. They're going to lock you up, and you're going to go through the system. They got us trained. They punish us on a daily basis, and we've been accepting it because we think, well, you know, that's the law. It's the law. But it shouldn't be the law. It shouldn't be where every day we got to worry about getting up and wondering what's going to happen to us because of these so-called laws. They ought to take 60% of the laws and just get rid of them. And as far as the marijuana laws, 60% of the war on drugs is marijuana. And it's been claimed as much as 85% maybe where people are arrested as far as marijuana, drug abuse is marijuana. You get rid of that, what do you got on the war on drugs? You got virtually nothing. So it goes away. Most of it goes away. And the last point I want to make is the tigers. I mean, it's absurd that they came after us again after we saved the tigers. We literally, when I say we, the people behind us, and Carl Mitchell, Kayla Mitchell, and myself, we fought for like 5 years already trying to save these 10 tigers on a piece of property in a secluded portion of this valley. And the system was against us, and they tried to lock us up and fine us and everything else. We won that battle back in November. And then some clown from some PETA-type group, I think it was called the Animal Legal Defense Fund, comes after us again on a false charge and puts us through hell again.
From San Francisco.
And they said they're not going to back off no matter what. I mean, this is absurd. We saved the tigers again last Wednesday on a 4-2 vote before the Regional Planning Commission.
Okay,
We should have got a 6-0 vote, but two of them, Augustin and Hafen, are dead set against us and the tigers. And at least there's 4 gentlemen up there that realize you don't kill 10 tigers because of some some bogus.
Well, Ray, one of the problems is, and I'll tell you right now, is that we have to fix it, and I suggested it to the commissioners privately went back in November, is that we need to fill a gap in our law that allows carpetbaggers and people that are not citizens of this state or this county to come in here and try to tell us how to run our business. And that, to me, is criminal. I mean, it's criminal what they're doing. It's pure harassment. But all the commission has to do is put a rule in there that says, in order to make a complaint about any of our people here in dealing with animals and animal husbandry and whatever in this county, you have to be from Nye County or be from the state of Nevada with ties to Nye County. Because without doing that, the law allows any joker to come in from any part of the world and file a suit. I mean, someone could literally come in here from Czechoslovakia. Well, from let's say Somalia. Some Somalian could come in here and file something right now against Carl and his tigers, and it would have to go up according to our rules. So we have to get that changed. And the first thing is to start pushing we pass laws for stupid things. Why don't we start, instead of passing more laws, why don't we restrict the ones that are on the books or get rid of the bad ones?
You're exactly right, Tom. And the thing about it is this is malicious persecution. That's what it is. They're persecuting us, and it's revenue enhancement for these PETA-type groups that are doing it because they get donations. They put out something on the internet and saying, oh, we're going to save these 10 tigers, and Carl Mitchell is not a good person for these tigers. They're getting all these contributions by just keeping it alive. And there's no end to it. And that's what happened at this meeting on my birthday, by the way, July the 13th. I turned 72, where they came across and said, we're not giving up. We don't care if you give them approval again. We're coming after them, and it's got to stop. If the commissioners don't realize this, then they should just bow their heads and say, well, we submit, because this is ridiculous what's going on.
Another thing, Ray, one of the things that really disgusted me was the article about that RPC meeting in the Pahrump Valley Times, which was a total opposite reading of what actually went on. There was like 10 people who spoke up for the tigers. All 10 I knew, and all 10 love animals. If there were anybody in that room that would have detected any abuse to the animals, those very 10 people that were speaking up for the Mitchells would have been attacking.
That's
so
right.
here's an organization from San Francisco who gets on the phone and is attacking you guys for something she has no knowledge of whatsoever.
That's right. And for two of them commissioners, Augustin and Hafen, to side with that because they have already prejudiced themselves against the tigers. So, I mean, I've done an interview with the Times. Either tomorrow or Friday, there'll be an update on what actually happened at that meeting. I want people to read that in the Times. And I know we're running short on time, so I want to thank everybody that supported the tigers. And we saved the tigers twice now. And I hope we don't have to go to bat and save them a third time. When you guys are driving home tonight, turn on 97.7. Hamilton's show is going to be talking more about this. FM radio. And I want to say, keep the faith, power to the people, and thank God we saved the tigers twice. You guys had a good show. Thank you very much. Good night.
Okay, one last thing on the tigers. In a real world where we really, really gave a damn about the economy, about people, about everything, we would be doing everything we could to talk to Carl Mitchell and say, God, could we turn this into a little exhibit to draw people up here? Let's go through the FDA rule or the USGA or whoever the organization is, and let's back the Mitchells. Instead, we're attacking them.
Well, it's not we. We're just we as publicly. We're not doing anything, because it's like, well, it doesn't really affect us directly. And then, but those, like, there are certain people. I don't know why Augustin or Hafen would. And I wasn't there to hear their reasoning. Who knows? I mean, maybe in their minds it was rational. I mean, but certainly I know the position that Mr. Hafen takes on people having wells in this town, and I don't agree with that whatsoever. But he's a lot richer than me, so he ought to know more. That said, I think we're ready to go. Take care and have a good time.
Thanks.